Hey, it's Ed with Slow Car Fix, and today I'm working on my 55 Chevy again, and trying to save this project, and I'm trying to get a little more structure in the back end of this car. So stick with me, we'll figure out what we're doing. Okay, so where I left off last time I was out here was I got these corners, the tail pan in. I still have some welding to do here, some sort of flattening on each side, and a lot of metal finishing to do on each side. I got to get some tail lights. I don't have any tail lights. If you guys have any tail lights and you are local to Ontario, Canada, or something like that, let me know. I need housings and I need tail lights. So the other thing I got to do is all this, all this stuff here has to get sorted out. I'm gonna cut this out and weld in a piece from the back side. I have to do that on both sides. I need to get some structure going across here, which I have some ideas for, and then I'm going to weld this across and try and tie this all back in. This tail pan, so you can see, that's from the underside, has been all welded to the floor. All my body mounts are in. The back body mounts are torqued. The rest are kind of floating for now. Not floating, the weight's on them, but there's no bolts in them. The weight is on the car. A lot of people said that the weight's got to be on the car. The weight is on the car, and it was on the car when I was doing this. It was on the suspension. So I have to do that. What else do I have to do? Everything. Oh, I have to mail out some pieces. One of you contacted me about these pieces that go on the bottom, so I gotta box them up and get them rolling. Yeah, so I'm gonna get working on this, get doing some cutting, some welding, and all that good stuff. Hey, here I am. This is a lot of work. There's nothing glamorous or sexy about this type of work on a hot rod slash whatever you want to call this car that I'm working on. But I've made some progress and I've got some strength in the driver's side quarter panel now, and I can kind of see how it's going to go to do the, I can definitely see how it's going to go to do the passenger side quarter panel, and I can see how really the rest of the car is going to unfold. It's just a lot of cutting and fitting and a lot of putting pieces in and a lot of shaping. When I shape a panel, now I'm no expert, here's the disclaimer. But when I shape a panel that's like for a bracket or for structural or something that's not going to get like body worked, often I'll get it rough. I'll use a screwdriver or a punch and a hammer, and I'll just get it into place, trim off the excess later, weld it in, use the heat from when I'm tacking it to relieve the metal, especially when I'm using like I think I'm using 16 gauge for these patches, which is not body metal at all. It's a lot heavier than that. So I'll show you where I've got and where I'm going next. Okay, so this is in. That's the piece I made. It's out of this 16 gauge stuff. The other thing I did was I used my brake and I bent a piece that goes in here in the corner. And I welded that all in. So what I'll do with all these welds after, I still have a little bit more cleanup to do, but what I'll do with all these welds later before the trunk gets painted is it'll be like, not like the factory, don't get me wrong here, but all this seam seal will be out of here, this original seam seal, and it will continue down here. Now you can see I've laid a nice big fat couple of passes here because I want this all to be good and strong. So when I did that, you know, I'll dress over that with seam sealer later. And, you know, I'm going to do something similar here. Okay, so I did use these aftermarket corner pieces, or one of them, in here. Now, I don't know if these are worth the money or not, because really I didn't use much of it. I cut it off at this line here on the bottom, and I cut it off at the top. And then I just kind of hammered it into place, because it's a trunk, and I don't really care. But it did, I can't really see where this would naturally go. But that's okay because I used it and it worked, and it saved me some fabrication because I didn't have to try and do this compound curves and all this crap. So I will show you what I got going on in here. You can see where that's that new piece I was talking about that I welded in. It's, you know, I've cleaned up some of it. This is the new patch panel. Eventually, I will strip off the rest of this undercoating. That's a crappy job. Pretty much the only way to do it, and actually it was one of the new commenters that recommended it, was obviously make sure the fan is on and make sure my respirator is on, and hit this with a torch and scrape it. And then it comes off pretty good. And then I used one of these little wheels. Where'd it go? One of these. That's a lot of noise. I don't know where it went, but one of those little funny paint removal wheel deals. Wheel deals, paint removal wheel deals. Ah, this is the remains. So one of these guys, and it actually strips it off pretty good. And I use that here, and that kind of strips this stuff off pretty good. But you do chew them up pretty well on the textured stuff. It's really good for this stuff, but you chew them up on the textured shit in the wheel wells. So what I need to do is I need to get this happening over here, and then I need to get some structure. I got an idea. I think I'm gonna maybe break a couple of pieces just to go in here to tie these two pieces together, and then stitch the trunk floor across. But really, this piece that I'm putting in here, I'm surprised how much strength that's added to the car. It's really made it rigid, and trunk still closes, gap is still good, gap still acceptable. A little loose at the bottom, but you know, it won't move anymore. So that's kind of where it's going to be, and I'm okay with that. It's got to get filler, primer, and paint, as always. I have obviously a lot of work to do here yet, and on this whole entire car. I got to do some research as well, because I think there's a piece that sort of ties in from here to here. Let me know in the comments, because you guys will probably see this before I get a chance to look at it. Is there a piece that goes from here to here? If so, do I just make that? Or I guess I'll just make that. I don't see, other than that, like I'll just lay a pile of seam sealer in there. And seal the trunk up. Now I did, when I put in those corner pieces, that corner piece, I lost this hole. So I don't know if I need that. I saved the plug so I can always get the size and drill another hole and whatever. But like you can see how much this moves. You can see it moves quite a bit. And obviously when it's all welded solid like that, it won't move. That's probably what I'm gonna do with the wheel wells. I'm not really sure. I'm half thinking it creates more work, but it's really the right way to fix this is to just cut those tubs right out, because there's not a lot left there. Cut those tubs right out and and then extend a piece, like almost like a mini tub, I guess, that would go out and do the inner wheel well. But I'm really not sure yet, because where this rotted was where the two pieces joined together. Now, I don't care if this car lasts another 70 years because I won't be here, but I definitely think I want it to, I want to do it the best I can. Don't want to order new wheel tubs because they're expensive. I have a slip roll right there that I don't really know how to use that I could figure out. I could make some sort of barrels that go there. I don't know, maybe I need to buy the tubs. I hate buying parts that I'm only going to use part of. Let me know what you think. I've seen a lot of people, what they do is they'll take this, like with a good tub, and they will move it into here about 2 inches and then do a straight flat piece across, and that gives you, you know, a wider wheel tub. I'm only going to be running 15 by 8s in the back, so I'm not really going to need that. Anyway, let me know what you think about that too, because there's a lot of damage in here that I got to deal with. Like, I'm not worried about this flat stuff. I'm really kind of perplexed on what to do about the inner wheel well stuff, because, you know, I can make something or I can buy the one-piece sections, but like, how do I get at it? Because, you know, there's still, even when I cut this out, there's still all this up here, right? So the other side will be, I haven't patched this Wolverine gash in yet because in the back of my mind, I'm thinking about access. But it's only, well, I guess it'll access the whole wheel well. If I cut this whole piece out, then I've got access on this side. So this side's not that bad. It's just the other side where I've already got that piece welded in. Yeah, world's longest 4-door to 2-door conversion. I'm interested to see how you guys like the longer format videos. I know that there's a lot of success on YouTube with people watching longer content. I've traditionally only been doing like 20-minute videos. So this one will probably be longer because there's a lot of work here, and there's not really a good spot to bookend, because if I say, well, I'm gonna finish the video where the welding is done, this video is gonna be like a year. So it'll be interesting to see how you guys like these longer form videos. So far, I've had some good feedback. Let me know what you think. Always curious. Try and respond to all the comments. Before I get crazy going back on this other side here, I'm going to, I gotta go into town and pick up a couple things, drop off a couple things, do some things, and I'll come back and hit at it again and maybe knock that other side off. And if I've got that done, I'll start into this trunk thing. And speaking of ending a video, I'll either end it with the completion of this side, or I'll end it with the stitching that all the way across. We'll see how I go and how the cookie crumbles. Hello, back again, and it's a new day, and I'm working on the 55 again. I got the structure done on both sides on the inner trunk yesterday, so that's kind of good. I've got a couple of things to do on the trunk lip, and then I guess I'll start looking at tying this floor together somehow. Let me show you where I'm at. Okay, some light on the subject. So, big fat weld in here. It's really big fat weld. It's a bunch of passes, but anyways, this is all in solid. That's all in solid. I got a little more cleanup to do. I have to make this piece here that goes in there and curves in, much like I did on this side. So I get to play with my brake. I have a little bit more cleaning up to do here with the welds. And then I'm into tying this floor together. It's hard to tell because there's angle iron still tacked in, but the car seems to be a lot stiffer. Things aren't moving around as much. Trunk still closes reasonably well. A lot of people have said you're trying to make something fit that didn't fit right in the first place. Point taken. I am probably trying to get it to fit better than it did in 55, as well as this is a patina car, or going to be, so I don't know what I'm doing there. Did some looking last night online about these wheel tubs. It's really hard to say what to do. It's a lot of work to cut that out and make it go in narrower, but I have to fix all this crap anyways. So I don't know, I'm really on the fence about that, and that's kind of where I gotta go next, I think. Because I'd really like to do that before I put the sides of the quarters on. I need to do that. I need to do this hole here where the, what's it called? Spare tire was. It's a couple of days before Christmas as well, so for those of you that celebrate Christmas and your holidays, Merry Christmas from my family to yours. Thanks very much for the new subscribers that just joined the channel. Thanks very much. But to hit a milestone on my subscriber count, so hopefully even before the end of the year. We got a heck of a lot of snow here this morning, and it's supposed to get worse the next couple of days. So I've got lots of firewood, I've got lots of MIG wire, I've got lots of shielding gas. So if the power stays on, I can stay working and my house can stay warm. Yeah. Okay, that's enough procrastinating. I gotta make this piece here. What got there? I will go 8 1/4 inches. By 1 3/4. 1 1/2 to 1 3/4 inches. Oof. Yeah, that'll be fine. Okay, field fit. Okay, now we're talking. Now we've made some progress. So that's a lot of work. Where do I start? What did I do? I had to basically build the inside corners from nothing. The driver's side looks really good. It's smooth and everything's clean and everything. The passenger side, you can see where I patched it in. You can see the welds. I didn't want to take too much material off the welds because then you start losing your strength. So seam seal is my best friend in this situation. I also welded in the trunk floor. I had it down on the ground, had all my angle iron welded in place, and then I just poured the weld to it. And I laid a nice big fat bead. I laid a couple of passes. Now you have to keep in mind that I had this piece in the car, full welded in, and then I cut it back out. And then I welded it in again and didn't like it and cut it back out again. So the fit was not great. So it's not perfect, but am I ever happy with it? And I'm happy that it just works. Once again, a good line of seam sealer and some trunk paint will be my best friend. Let's see. Okay, so this is a big contrast from what it looked like once before. Like I said, I put in all these pieces here. You can still see there's some weld there. I could clean that up a little bit more. I'll lay in a big fat thing of seam sealer. Once I'm done everything, once I'm done all this stuff, then I will lay in, oh, there goes my light. I will lay in a big fat thing of seam sealer from front, that's the front, from front to back in where the factory was. Whether the wheel wells change or not, it'll still go around and there'll be a big fat thing of seam sealer. I'm sure this car will get a skid of seam sealer anyways. This weld looks pretty good. Like I said, it's a big fat weld. It's about a ½ an inch wide all the way across because there's multiple passes. I wanted it good and strong. You can see where I patched in the corner. Like I said, when I go over that with a bit of seam sealer, you'll never even see that because you use, in a situation like this, you use seam sealer almost like a body fill. It'll keep all the moisture out of getting into the welds. It'll seal, it does what it says. It'll seal the seam. And then I'll probably spray this with some sort of textured paint because this is never going to be perfect. So this is all welded in. The only thing that's, I didn't add any extra support here yet. I still probably will do that. I'm on the fence whether I do that on top here and just do like a piece that goes in here or do it underneath. I do also obviously have to fill this spare tire hole, cut this, whatever that was. I think that was like some sort of cover or something, or maybe for the jack. If you know what this was, let me know in the comments. And if you want it, also let me know in the comments because I'm going to cut it out. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. The trunk still closes. So now it's on the lift right now, so that's pretty good. Can't really complain about that for the mess that this car was. Yeah, you can see where I've got it patched in there. That's those corner pieces had to go in and all that, and I had to make that 16 gauge structure there. Let's have a look at the other side. It's more of the same. You can see it's more of the same. Another piece welded in. What I'll do is once I'm doing the inner wheel wells, I'll clean as much of that as I can. I'll wire brush it, wire wheel it, whatever I can do to get this crap off here. And then this whole thing in here, in between the panels, we'll get like a rubberized bed liner, not a bed liner, rubberized undercoat. I've used that on like everything I have underneath, and it's quite handy. So overall, I'm pretty happy. This looks good. Of course, the wire wheel helps a lot, makes it all look nice, but at least I can start to see some progress, and then I can move forward. I can just decide on what's next. I guess I gotta start thinking about these wheel wells. Let me know in the comments what you think. Also, you guys probably noticed I've got my earbuds in all the time. I've got noise canceling earbuds that keep my to keep the grinding noise out of my ears and keep the tunes in them. So mostly I'm listening to blues stuff, B.B. King, Jimi Hendrix, that sort of stuff. A little bit of John Mayer. Let me know what you guys listen to when you're in the shop working away. Is there a different thing? I even had some like 70s funk on for a little while. Let me know what you guys listen to when you're working. What gets you in the productive mindset to slug away? Anyways, I appreciate all the comments. They've been great. You guys have been really supportive. It's nice to connect with you. It's a great community, that the slow car community that we've just developed. I'm going to hit a milestone for subscribers. I'm excited about that. It's the end of the year. This has been a good year. If you get a chance, if you think about it, please subscribe. Hit the notification bell. I don't say that often enough, but if you hit the notification bell, it will give you alerts when I post videos. Subscribing doesn't cost anything, but then you get to see my content. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. I'll either be doing more on this, or I might pull the engine out of my Corsa. I'm not sure yet.